Oh, God.
Oh,
Eric, is this from you?
yeah, yeah.
No.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Let's see, the public portion, is anyone here to present for the public portion? Oh, let's see, anybody here for the public portion? No. Roll call, I think we know we're all here, so I'm not gonna do that. All right. Approval of minutes, 1.1 regular meeting, February 2nd, 2022.
Approve the minutes.
Move to waive the reading and approve the minutes of the public health and safety meeting of February 2nd, 22.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, I better put my glasses back on. New business, we're tabling 2.1 speeding on Rolling Brook Road due to the fact that Kristen could not be here, so we're tabling it, I believe, until July.
May I ask a question?
Yes,
Are any of the other neighbors going to be attending the meetings to voice their feelings?
I have no knowledge of that.
Me neither, that's what I asked.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
so I really can't answer that. So we're going to table that, Mark.
They actually, they have in the past.
Yeah, they were here in the past, that's true. 2.2, the stop sign request at intersection of East Village Road and School Street.
Move to authorize the traffic division to investigate the request for a four-way stop at the intersection of East Village Road and School Street.
Okay, just one request, that's the only request I received. I went up there and first of all, I checked our records and there's two accidents, one last year and one 2013 at the intersection. Coming out of Bonavista, looking right, there's a little issue with sightline with brush. So I'll get that taken care of, but the rest of it, there's no problems. To me, the sightline is perfect.
So was the issue with requesting the intersection, it says, according to Porter, I've been asked by several people, I like this as part of the record, I've been asked by several people about this. There have been several accidents there over the years, one very bad. The view from the side streets is blind. It doesn't specify which way, so that's the only thing I note there. And he said he also has spoken to the firefighters, and they are in favor of this as well. They said it's difficult to see cars coming when they are pulling out. So you're saying, what direction do you think they're referencing? Because it's not really clear.
It must be coming out of Bonavista onto East Village, looking right toward the ball field.
Okay.
There's a big forsythia bush. It needs to be trimmed back, and that'll open up the sightline quite a bit. And I've never talked to the firefighters about the issue. Nobody ever brought that up to me.
Okay, yeah, that was just in the email to the street committee. So I don't know if you'd have to address that with them perhaps.
Talk to them
And
yeah.
see if that is an issue, but maybe it is related more to the brush than
Can I ask-
anything else.
Mike,
Yeah, sure.
Mike, has anybody brought that up to you?
No, not at all, the fire department.
Okay.
No.
Can I ask a question? Is the Buena Vista and School Street directly across from each other?
Yeah.
They're directly.
Bonavista's a dead end.
And I know we brought this up in the past, Mark, about stop signs and not necessarily them mitigating accidents, et cetera. Is this one of those areas where you think it would not be beneficial?
I don't believe so, no, because when you come up East Village from Obuda, coming up the hill, now you don't want a backup. I don't know if you would get with it. don't know how much traffic there will be there, but the data shows that there's no issues with crashes. Like I said, there was one July 4th of 21, and the other one was 2013.
Yeah, and he doesn't
At
reference,
that intersection.
he says, yeah, he says one very bad last summer with a motorcycle and, yeah, that, I don't know which one that would have been, but,
But that was July 4th, 21.
okay, so that's the one, all right. All right, so, are you gonna just, That's
I'll
it.
talk to the fire department, see what they think.
okay, so we'll continue that for our next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Next item is 2.3, left and right lane request at base of Perry Hill Road. Can you guys hear me? And Bridgeport Avenue.
Move to authorize the traffic division to investigate the request for the left and right lane turn at the base of Perry Hill Road and Bridgeport Avenue.
I spoke with the
Oh,
woman,
second,
Second.
go ahead.
I spoke with the woman who made this request, and had a nice conversation with her, and it's not wide enough at the bottom of Perry Hill for 2 lanes. There's a crosswalk from Oak Avenue to the other side of Perry Hill. And if you had a left and a right turn lane, the sight line would, each vehicle would block the other sight line.
In danger.
Very dangerous. So there's absolutely no way to put a left and right turn there.
Okay, then there's no other solution.
A major revamping of that
I
intersection.
know that,
There's nothing awful. in it.
that's an, I actually don't like that intersection myself. I'm very cautious with that area because,
Wonky.
yeah, it's a good word, yeah.
I told her, the way that uses that is to go to Route 8 South. I had suggested just try to go down Worcester Street to Coram, up to Center, and that would be a lot safer for her. So, and also this, another month or two, they're gonna mill and repave that intersection. Just so you know,
Okay, all right,
they're not gonna do any improvements, anything widening or change it, they're just gonna repave it.
so there's really not gonna be any improvement as
No.
far as the safety
No.
perspective
No.
goes.
No,
Okay, so we have to make a motion to vote on that there's not gonna be any changes. Are we in favor of that at this point in time?
You have a current motion on the table, that's been seconded also.
I'm sorry, which one? I'm sorry.
2.3.
Yeah, oh, yeah, move to invest, well, it sounds like he already investigated it, so are we all in favor of the results of his investigation?
Or you're satisfied that there's something else?
not there, no, absolutely not.
Okay,
Unless you get an engineer in there and you wanna spend some money and reconfigure it.
well, have there been a lot of accidents there?
We get a few, nothing,
Nothing
we've had
major.
nothing major. They're coming out of Oak
Yeah,
Avenue,
they're-
Perry, you know,
Yeah, I know the area well.
it's difficult. Should I
unfortunately.
go, you go, who goes first?
Is there a possibility that area as you're approaching, because there's a lot of commercial vehicles that use that area too, and it is a little narrow and it starts.
Buses, with the bus, the transit buses?
Can we have a sign that says, slow down or something, or those just don't warrant any, they don't really benefit anyone, do they?
No.
Okay, so we're all in agreement that, there's really no solution other than what he recommended.
Yeah, we think
Status
so.
quo, okay. All those in favor of that?
Aye.
Okay. Next one is 2.4, speeding in front of 112, 124, and 153 Bridgeport Avenue and crosswalk request.
Move to authorize the traffic division to investigate the speeding at 112, 124, and 153 Bridgeport Avenue and investigate the possibility of a crosswalk.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
The state was there, looking at it, at the crosswalk request from Mr. Todes. And I don't believe they're gonna put a crosswalk in there. I know Mr. Todes has plans to put a nursery in,
Yeah,
In
that's
that
what you had
area?
told us.
right? And so I don't think that's gonna happen. That'll be a state issue for the crosswalk.
And when you say the state was there, what do they do as far as investigated? Do they count pedestrians that cross?
No, the
street?
inspector came and spent a little time there.
No written report?
No.
Would he
no.
give us a written
I'm
report?
sure he would if I talked to him.
Yeah, maybe
If I
we
called
should
him.
have one on
Yeah.
record.
Okay.
Yeah,
At least we could fall back on that.
Right,
yeah, I think we should have
have
that.
some kind of resolution,
Maybe it's-
yay or nay, at least.
Yeah, at least it
It'd be a
supports
tough
that
spot, yeah.
we addressed it with the state because
Yeah.
that's their area of Bridgeport Avenue.
Yeah.
All in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna put the speed box back up. I had one there a while ago. I'm gonna put the speed box back up.
Okay,
It is a busy place.
Yeah.
It's a lot of businesses, a lot of traffic going up to Route 8.
yeah.
What is there just as they're gonna blast that hillside away?
I couldn't hear you, Mike.
What is there just as they're gonna blast the hillside away?
We started it.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
coming, yeah.
Okay. So the motion carries that we voted on. Old business, status update, I just want to announce that I did talk to Mr. Gil LaBelle. I left him a message last night because they weren't responding to my emails. His wife, for whatever reason, wasn't reading them. He called me today. He said he tried to come, but if not, I'll just give him an update. This is, you want to read
Oh, sure.
yeah.
James Farm Road where Cranberry Bog passes under road issue update.
Yeah, and the update, I know there's been several different things, and I know also Eric has mentioned that there was a recommendation. This was the area where you were recommending about the lumen, right?
Yeah, my thought was, and John and I talked about it. And I'll drive out and look to see if there are any streetlights near that area. We can get the poll numbers, and then your committee could recommend increasing the lumens on the lights. I think right now the standard is 50. Maybe they can go higher to illuminate that area better. But it depends if there's any poles even near there, so we don't know.
Yeah, and I did drive by there, and I honestly don't remember poles right near
Yeah.
that
I
area.
don't think so.
Yeah, I don't recall that. So the improvements thus far that we have had were that the signage you
With the
did,
signage, I put, Public Works helped me with this, reflective strips
right?
on both sides of the guardrails.
And then the city engineer, that's a bigger project, and where are we with that part? Did it even happen?
No, it didn't happen.
Okay. Does he, but he does know about
Oh,
it,
he
because
sure does.
we talked about
Yeah.
it, about the bond
Yeah.
and all that.
They've been out there, and I just don't think there's anything you really can do there with that, and that was when we had the discussion.
Right, without a major reconstruction, and
Right.
that would cost millions probably.
Quite a bit, but like I said, there are things that we've been trying to address. John has, the police department has, and like I said, and then I think the only other thing we can do is if there are poles, somewhere in that area, that maybe we can increase the lighting there.
It's limited what can be done,
Right,
because that section is narrow, because it's an underpass with piping for Cranberry Bog on the left side and the right side. If you want to do anything there, it's a nightmare, you're gonna have to go back and revisit from the beginning within the wetlands.
right, go ahead, John.
And there's no room, there's right along the road, there is no room, it's a drop off on both sides. There's no room to expand the road.
Right.
To widen it.
So my concern is, as far as the engineering perspective and structurally, is the current structure stable enough? Because I know, for the tonnage that drives over that, or are we
Yeah.
having
Well,
issues?
we questioned public street committee meeting, and they said that what we perceived to be potholes along both sides.
Right.
Were not, it was leaf collection in the winter, and they cleaned it up, and they filled any, both sides of the road in good shape. physically.
So I guess my question is very similar to yours, like, is the state of the roadway the same as it's been for a long time, or is it eroded, or is it, has it gotten worse, just like you asked, for them to have a new concern? Or is it something that they just have been dealing with, and then they're just saying, we have more trucks coming down, or,
Well,
is there
I
new
think
traffic?
I think what the engineer, the public works director said was that the road itself is in good shape. They can't do anything to widen it. They can't encroach on the wetlands part of it. And there's not an accident history there to warrant, the concerns. So, the only thing is, as the sergeant said, was they improved, added signage, they improved the driver's ability to pick up the signage with more reflectors. They got the reflectors in on the guardrails on both sides
Right.
of that.
And
So-
he, Remus does go on the back of our page. He does say about pole relocation would be required to widen pavement and things like that. The steep drop-offs on both sides of the roads likely to construct any wider of a roadway. And this would only benefit 3 homes located in Shelton. So he did the traffic logistics nightmare during construction. So he did bring up some of those. He did bring up that the benefit of construction of wider roadway would increase emergency access. That was the only benefit that he did list, and that he met with the street committee several times. They did sweep the debris, like John said, he did mention repairing any potholes in an attempt to increase the width of the safe travel portion and eliminate people needing to cross the center line of the road to negotiate the curve. So he has addressed it to the best, I guess, that we can at this time. Correct. So that's old business. So the next item is 3.2. There's no motion needed on that. The next item is 3.2, cell tower on Booth Hill Road. I did tell the mayor that I was gonna have an update, and Mike Maglione was kind enough to get some information, so go ahead.
At this point here, I've been directed to find a consultant to do a needs assessment for our complete communication system. I'm in the process of finding, I have to find 2 or 3 individuals to get their feedback on what the cost of this would be.
Now, I'm curious, Mike, what kind of consultants are we looking at? Are they technological consulting firms? And do you have to do an RFP, or you
Yes.
just?
Well, because they're consultants, I can do it as an RFP. I don't have to bid it. I
Okay,
will present the mayor with a list of individuals, and he will decide who he would like to do that.
got it. Okay,
But it would be they would look at our whole system, the antennas that are out in the field, all the technology that goes with that, to the consoles and the technology that we have in the dispatch center.
okay. And that would be, they'd be reassessing that cell tower as well.
Everything would be included. in it,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So who was the gentleman that was here a couple months ago?
That was John Petrillo. He retired, the police officer.
John retired, and
Jesse,
Officer Butwell took his place, has
no knowledge.
no knowledge at all.
Okay.
So it was the right
Kind
thing
of
to do,
refreshing
to go
itself.
off and get somebody who understands, what systems are.
And you came up.
The age of, the age of the equipment that we have, what's its lifetime, how much can it be supported, and then we go from there.
And
Yeah.
you're still planning on going with Motorola as the actual,
Motorola is our vendor, that's it.
okay,
Yeah, and just from a national level, I think so many, it's almost a monopoly that so many law enforcement and firefighter, they all pretty much use it right now. I don't know if there's a real competitor that's viable and
True, as
secure.
far as the basic hardware that we would have.
Okay, all right. Item 4, status update from police department. There's 4.1, there's no new items. Did you have time to review the reports of the emergency services 5.1 police services? Are there any questions with regard to that? 5.2 is emergency medical services. You have time to review that with the stats and the metrics. I have no questions. It's just that we've been pretty busy as usual. And I do want to point out kudos to Echo Hose. I mean, 24% increase in call volume compared to last March 2021. That's pretty remarkable that we're able to do this still on a voluntary basis and cover all our area of Shelton. I think that's pretty commendable, if I might say. Anything you want to say, Joe, about the training? Any updates?
So paramedic program is going very well. A lot of initial classes. We do have a lot of classes coming up this summer for a lot of our local high school and college students that may be interested in taking the program. I would like to just speak briefly about the public safety pathways program that's taking place at Shelton Intermediate School. It's a program for 8th graders. Chief Jones, public safety director, Mike Maglione, myself, as well as the police department, have been involved in their education for about an hour each week. We're giving these kids an opportunity to learn fire extinguisher training, CPR, bleeding control, how to rescue people from different, positions, cars, different things like that.
Wow.
These kids love it. Firefighter Bob Simon went in last week, did battery, lithium battery safety with them, did fire behavior and chemistry with them. And these kids are loving this program. And we are so excited about it because it's now bringing us, into the schools. The schools seem to be very, very happy with it. The feedback that we've gotten from the students as well as the administrators is that everyone is very, very happy with this program. This program is hoping that we will continue to expand these kids' interest in public safety with the hopes that maybe they'll take future EMT classes,
Right.
firefighter 1 classes, start volunteering at the age of 16 here in town. We're working with the allied health science teacher up at the high school. She's going to start having her students intern with us down at Echo Hose next year.
Nice.
And we've offered all Shelton High School students a discount for EMT classes this summer if they're going into that allied health.
Wow.
or Any other programs they want. So really giving these kids a lot of opportunities. Kudos and huge thanks to Chief Jones. He's been instrumental in helping with this. Mike as well, members of the police department. I think it's a great program. We're very grateful. The other last update is we are ready for the transition for July. We have just finished hiring our last full-time paramedic. That's actually bringing our numbers up to almost 20 full-time EMTs and paramedics. That will help with the transition in July. As you know, we've been covering second and third ALS calls here in town. Our lineup looks like we're going to have anywhere between 2 and 4 paramedics on duty just for Shelton, rolling out the door every day, which is a lot of resources available to the town. On the overnights, we're looking at 2 paramedics, two paramedic ambulances. Where we were a year from today, we had 1 ambulance on the overnight, a shared paramedic, 2 paramedics shared with the rest of the valley. We'll have up to 2 paramedics on the overnight on 2 ambulances. So really taking our resources, expanding those resources for the members of the community, and just trying to give you as good a services as we can. And we're just very grateful for our volunteers, our staff, our part-time and full-time employees for all their help.
And I'd like to recognize you for being, Echo Hose Ambulance was awarded the 2021 Governor's Award. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that.
Thank you
That's
very much.
great. And how did the safety career fair go on April 27th?
So the
Sorry to make
yeah,
it-
that's okay. No. So the career fair is going well. We do that twice a year. We're really trying to make sure we connect students and certified providers with employers. Trying to get if you watched the news recently, there are EMS staffing shortages
Yes.
all across the state of Connecticut. Pay
And
is
New
a
York,
problem,
actually.
and New York, and pay is a big thing. Medicare, Medicaid, do not reimburse a lot for the programs. Also, we only transport about 68% of our patients. So that means 32% of the calls that we go on, there is no option for us to get any reimbursement. So, yeah, in many people's businesses, if you said, hey, you only get paid to do, 78, or 68% of the work, most people wouldn't be able to keep their heads above water. We've been very grateful because of the help of our volunteers, especially being able to help expand those resources to be able to do that. So, we're very grateful for that.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. 5.2 emergency medical services. The reports are, the stats are there as well. Any questions on any of that?
No, it's all good.
And the equipment update, training, we got that done. And yeah, that's good. 5.3 fire services. Any questions on any of that? There's a lot about the apparatus and some of the training going on. Do you need to speak to anything or you're good on that?
If you have questions, I'll answer.
Yeah, I reviewed it and I was pretty good with what you were doing. And, being a clinician, I'm always geared towards honing in on all the CPR and AED stuff. So kudos to you on that. Are we, when you're bringing it to the high school, is it through health education? Or how are they allowing you to go in and train? on
Right
that?
now, it's just, correct me if I'm wrong, it's as a club.
Oh, it's as a club, okay.
What had happened was in our process of putting this together, we weren't aware of when curriculum is decided. So we were off by about 6 months. So the program that we intend to put in place won't be fully in effect until a year from now.
Okay, all right, thank you. And
It'll
5.
be part of the curriculum
I'm
next year.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, hopefully. We still have to go through the reviews and
Right.
show that we're worthy.
And item 5.4, fire marshal, any questions about any of that? Either one of you?
No.
Okay, great. And 5.5, Office of Emergency Management, any questions on the February or March report? I'm good with those.
No question.
And I entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
That one I like to jump right on.
I'm done.
Eric, go shut it. You gotta go shut it off now.
Oh, you weren't kidding.
I was recruited to shut it off.
Yeah.
My only purpose and function to be here was to shut that off.
Okay, all right.
Now, then I gotta see if I get a passing grade
From what, Kim?
from Dan.
Oh, from Dan. Kim, thanks for coming. Good seeing you.
I haven't seen Ken in a long time.
I know it was one. I know which one.
Yeah.